Welcome to the Other Star franchise, the anti-fascist Star Wars podcast, where a couple of Trekkies from the Star Trek fandom discuss Star Wars. We are currently watching a lot of the Star Wars shows, movies, and animation in chronological order, leading up to the release of the Mandalorian and Grogu movie. Today we are discussing episodes of The Clone Wars, which take place in 20 BBY. So that's right, Taylor. 20 BBY, we have made it to another year of the Star Wars timeline. These are the first episodes we're talking about in 20 BBY. Previously we were in 21 BBY, so... But I'm Fatheree, this is Taylor. Taylor, are you ready to talk about some Star Wars?
Let's do it.
We were talking about some Star Trek earlier because we were doing our other show, TEX-TREK. And that's where we talk about my favorite thing ever, Star Trek. But enough of that, we're talking about Star Wars now, which I also like quite a bit. And these episodes for the people... Oh, goodness, we're so dark on screen for the people who can see us on camera.
Oh, turn it up.
Yeah, we need way brighter light. Okay, there we go. The people listening to the audio podcast are like, damn, Father, I wish you would edit that. I still look too dark, but that's okay.
It is nighttime. We are in daylight savings time.
Yeah, fake time, as I like to call it. But yeah, okay. No one wants to listen to me talk about how I hate daylight savings time.
It'll be a whole podcast episode, honestly.
What I wanted to say, though, is we have a spreadsheet for people who can see us, except, well, I'm having a hard time sharing my screen because this progress bar is on the wrong side of the screen, and I don't know how to get rid of it. Oh, wait, I can just go into the, well, I can't do that either. I can't go into the Chrome tab. Okay. So no one wants to listen to this podcast. It just sounds like an idiot who doesn't know what he's clicking on.
You do that, and I'll fix the taskbar.
Okay. Well, what I was going to do is say, like, hey, everyone, look at the spreadsheet if you can see it. But, oh, this is risky stuff. We're going into some of our display settings. I don't know how this is going to impact our show.
It's not gonna do
cool.
anything.
Oh, it didn't do anything. Okay, cool.
I know. And look, now the taskbar is good.
Okay, so, sorry everyone who had to listen to that, but no, I'm not going to edit it out, because we don't edit the Other Star franchise. We go hard on this podcast. We give you the gritty reality of what it's like in our house, so...
Technical issues all day, every day.
If you are watching us on YouTube, though, you can see my dog Amos making a cameo appearance behind us. You might hear some animals on this show. But the people who do see us, you should now be able to see our spreadsheet right here. So, the episodes of Clone Wars we are talking about today that take place in the year 20 BBY. We're getting close, like next year, 19 BBY, that's when Luke and Leia are born. Okay. So we're in like the year before they're born. So, but... The episodes we're talking about today are the Nightsisters arc that introduce Darth Maul's brother, Savage Opress. Like, people who only watch the movies of Star Wars, they don't watch the animated shows too. They're like, what? Darth Maul has a brother? They're like, yeah, he's actually a way cooler character in my opinion. I think Darth Maul sucks. I think he's a lame ass. I wish that all the stuff he does in animation, they just would have let Savage do.
I disagree.
We're also going to talk about the highly controversial Mortis episodes that get into like some weird Force mythology, and I feel like just different people have different interpretations of this, so it'll be fun for us to talk about it. Not really part of Star Wars I am too, I don't know, interested in spending a lot of time talking about, but something we should acknowledge because it took up 3 episodes of this show. And then we have the Citadel arc. We see Tarkin befriend Anakin Skywalker. Before they're Grand Moff Tarkin and Darth Vader on the Death Star, they were friends in the Clone Wars. We're going to have some Wookiee fun with some Trandoshans. And Chewbacca meets Ahsoka. Mm-hmm. And we're also going to talk about the Water War trilogy, in which it was basically like a little 15-minute micro episode from the old 2D Clone Wars cartoon that the Samurai Jack guy did. And then the Lucas CGI Clone Wars show is like, we're just going to milk 3 episodes out of Water Wars on Mon Cala, on Akbar's homeworld. We get to have Akbar and a shark dude and a prince named Lee Char. He was named after Charlie the tuna. Instead of Charlie, he's Lee Char. So all of that tonight.
And Shadow Warrior.
Oh, yeah. And General Grievous gets defeated by Gungans in Shadow Warrior. So I love that. But Taylor, I know that you really like this first arc we're going to talk about with the Nightsisters and Savage Opress. But yeah, we get some backstory on Asajj Ventress. He's been Dooku's Sith assassin the first 3 seasons of Clone Wars, and then that changes here. So, Taylor, we should read through these summaries and the quotes. Clone Wars gives a moral of the episode every episode. You get that fortune cookie quote. So,
Sure.
Season 3, Episode 12, Nightsisters.
Darth Sidious commands Count Dooku to eliminate Asajj Ventress, troubled by her growing progress in the dark side of the Force. When Ventress survives Dooku's assassination attempt, the jilted former apprentice vows to take revenge, enlisting her kinswoman, the Nightsisters of Dathomir, in her scheme.
And then the moral is the swiftest path to destruction is through vengeance. But yeah, Asajj Ventress is all about vengeance in this episode. Palpatine tells Dooku, you gotta get rid of your apprentice. And Dooku has his droids attack her, and she escapes and goes back to her home world of Dathomir and meets her Night Sister family. We're introduced to Mother Talzin, the leader of the Night Sisters. You know, we had some Force witches in The Acolyte, which were very based on Night Sisters, and this was kind of the first canonical use of the Night Sisters. That's something that the EU had played around with. Something like Lucas had talked about there, being witches in Star Wars, but we didn't really make it canon until this episode. In this 3-episode arc in which Ventress tries to get revenge on Dooku by, they're basically going to Manchurian candidate his new apprentice. He's going to adopt a new Sith assassin.
Yeah.
And so
I think, should we read the other 2?
Yeah, I was teeing up season
okay.
3, episode 3, season 3, episode 13, Monster.
Okay.
I had to connect Nightsisters to Monster. There's a lot to explain. Like, when you read this, you start saying Mother Talzin. I didn't give any context for Mother Talzin.
Okay.
But yeah, so that brings us to season 3, episode 13, Monster.
With Ventress's attack on Dooku resulting in failure, Mother Talzin gives Dooku a new apprentice named Savage Opress, who is the clan brother of Darth Maul and secretly controlled by the Nightsisters.
It's actually eventually stated in something that Opress and Maul are like biological brothers, so more than just clan brothers. But yeah, all the Night Brothers call each other brother, and all the Night Sisters call each other sister. Yeah, the moral of that episode is evil is not born, it is taught. And you see that with Savage Opress. He's a very sympathetic guy, but they do their damnedest to turn him into an evil asshole. And then season 3, episode 14, Witches in the Mist.
With Savage Opress connected to the Force, he is sent out by Dooku to capture King Katunko, where he meets Obi-Wan and Anakin, sent by the Jedi to search for Savage Opress as he murdered 2 Jedi. Opress escapes and is punished by Dooku for killing Katunko rather than capturing him. Eventually, Ventress arrives and both attack Dooku, but the attack fails when Opress becomes enraged after being confused between his loyalties to Dooku and Ventress, and also when Obi-Wan and Anakin intervene. All remain unharmed. Savage returns to Mother Talzin believing Ventress betrayed him, and he's then sent by Talzin to look for his long-lost brother, Darth Maul.
So we have the dun-dun-dun, Maul is alive.
Mm-hmm.
Savage, by the way. Even though it's spelled like
Didn't
Savage.
I say Savage?
You said Savage returns.
Sorry.
His name is Savage Opress.
I do know that.
Or is it Savage Opress? These names are all very, on the nose. I guess that's in keeping with Darth Maul. And then their brother Farrell is the little weakling. But yeah, King Katunko, we met him, the king of the Toydarians, Watto's people, from the Phantom Menace. And then dumbass Savage Opress, he's just like this big tank, he's like a big beefed up Darth Maul, because the Nightsisters did those spells on him to make him like a...
Tank. Yeah.
Yeah, like he's taller, his horns get longer.
Yeah.
And he was too rough on King Katunko and killed him.
Yeah, he got
and
overwhelmed.
then drags around his corpse. He just drags around this dead Toydarian corpse a lot. It's on screen a lot, getting drug around. But yeah, where you want to start talking about these 3 episodes?
I think it's interesting that Ventress knew that she was a Nightsister, even though she was taken as a baby and then like raised with the Jedi for a minute, and then
you see her childhood.
Like she was a baby the last time that she saw the Nightsisters, when she was given away as like
as like part of a pact, like to protect the tribe. It sounded like they sold her into slavery, into like some agreement with some dude.
Yeah, and basically her master died, and then the Jedi found her and picked her up.
But it's like she always knew she was from Dathomir, like but she just didn't have any memory of it beyond like leaving. But
she knew Mother Talzin's name.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think that was kind of a plot hole.
Is it like maybe she just like always knew, like, oh yeah, like this my slave master like bought me from Mother Talzin, and that, like, I don't know anything else, but I know that. And then when he died, I'm being raised by this Jedi, but I still know I came from Mother Talzin.
Okay, maybe.
The Jedi who raised her, though, it was like he was like out on a mission and found this Force-sensitive kid and just kind of took them under his wing and started training them, and then like he died before he could like get her into the system, like get her like
this very Qui-Gon Jinn.
It is very cool. But it's like you would think that would happen sometimes if you have like these Jedi who are out on the like perimeters of the galaxy, and they might take them a while before they circle back to Coruscant. Or are able to report in. So, but I love when Dooku gets the orders from his master to like, okay, you have to get rid of Ventress. It like pains him to do it, but then he does it anyways.
Yeah.
But you see that conflict in Dooku. It's interesting to see him like, oh, he actually cared about someone, like he actually he wasn't just a mustache twirling villain.
Well, he also could just be like mad because he's put so much effort and time into training her, and she's actually doing really well, and he doesn't.
I mean, I'm sure that's a part of it. I think those things are complementary to each other, though. It's like that's part of why it was so sad for him. That's because like this evil person, he probably does value a person based on their usefulness to his agenda. So yeah, it made him even more upset. Like, oh, I could have really used her in the schemes to come. I don't know what Dooku's long game was, but Palpatine is correct in thinking that Dooku wants to overthrow him. Seems to be like a Sith tradition. Because as soon as Dooku gets Savage Opress, he says, okay, eventually you and I are going to overthrow my master, so let's get to work on your training.
Yeah.
So apparently that is in Dooku's endgame. Little does he know.
Yeah.
He's there's something else that happens in 19 BBY. We're in 20 BBY. So he's gonna lose his head pretty quick. But
I mean, I really like Dathomir. I think that's a cool planet, and I like how mystical it is with all the sisters, and then the matriarchal society is fun. I kind of think it's funny that they go to the man side of the planet and go man shopping.
Yeah, to shop for a mate.
It's so weird, and it's also, I don't know, like, it's kind of brutal. Like, the tasks don't seem super hard. It's mostly like, okay, fight Ventress 3 times, and whoever's still standing lives and gets to go. But, like, it is pretty, terrible, like, when they choose Savage and then, do all that beefcakes, spell stuff. And then they make him kill his brother
Yeah.
as like a final testimony, like the one he's been protecting this whole time.
Is it messed up to like depict these women as like, oh, they're like these witches who like they victimize men by like they seek them out and they're like, oh, here's a cute one I can work with, and they build them up to be what they want them to be, and then use them as their pawn.
Yeah. It's fucked up to do that whether you're a man or a woman.
But it is funny when they say like, oh, this is how like the Nightsisters come over here to shop for a mate. And this is like, from their perspective, this is all very normal. And like Ventress like putting all the Night Brothers through like fighting each other and stuff. And like don't they like run like an obstacle course at one point? Yeah. It's just like basically like her like flipping through like her Bumble profile or a dating app or something and be like, what about this one? What about this one? But I feel sorry for Savage Opress because, yeah, he is, like, a good guy. He was, like, trying to look out for his brother. And he didn't want this, like, evil, dark side magic in him.
Yeah.
I guess we already saw some of it in The Acolyte with our chronological rewatch. But I guess this is the first time canonically Star Wars was, like, really getting into magic stuff. They had done it in the EU a little bit. But magic is a thing that exists in the Star Wars universe, and Lucas has said it's not the same thing as the Force. So you have like the Force, and then you also have magic, but you also have like
Forcey magic, like
yeah,
Mortis.
like or but there's also like kind of our dog is shaking around now. But it seems like there's a dark side of magic as well as a dark side of the Force.
Sure, yeah.
It may be like if you're doing like a dark side magic spell, that can make someone more sensitive to the Force. So they can kind of like, you know, work together that way.
Okay.
But it's like a different skill set. Like you have to learn the Nightsisters magic, or you have to learn the Force. They're like very different things.
Mm-hmm.
They're like different disciplines. It's also interesting to see how the rule of two is explored in these episodes. It's very much about, like, the rule of two. You know, that's something that it was kind of a cool idea. If the Sith get too out of hand, if there's too many of them, they all fight each other and try to be like, I want to be the Sith in command. No, I want to be, like, the boss Sith. And so the only way it works is if you keep it down to two, where you have, like, a master and an apprentice. Mm-hmm. And then even then you have, like, Palpatine, I guess, like, the canonical answer to this is, like, he had two different apprentices at the same time during the Phantom Menace. He had, like, Darth Maul, but he was also, like, training this guy, Dooku. So it's, like, the rule of two is, like, you want to keep it as close to two as possible, but everyone's kind of cheating. Like, the masters are kind of cheating, the apprentices are kind of cheating. But again, like, it's all very Sith-like. And Palpatine, or I guess I should say Sidious, knew about Asajj Ventress. He would, like, you know, order her in the movie, in the Clone Wars movie and stuff. So he knew what Dooku was up to. So I guess, and you know, eventually with Palpatine and Vader, they handle this by having the Inquisitors.
Right.
And we see that in, like, Rebels and Obi-Wan and stuff.
Which is kind of like what Ventress and Darth Maul's vibe kind of is. Like, it's not, like, it's more of assassin and, like attacker than it is, like, I'm a Darth Maul. Like, I don't know, like, I don't know. Like, they don't seem, like, as, like, they're not long game in that. So it's...
Who isn't?
Like, Darth Maul and Ventress. Like, I don't think of them as, like, Sith Lords.
Right, yeah. I mean, they're good for, like, killing people. They're, like, better as, like, the Sith assassin is a term I hear thrown around a little bit. But they are both called apprentice. Okay. Like, because that's something I was listening for. In fact, Sidious introduced Darth Maul to the Neimoidians in the Phantom Menace as a Sith Lord. He's like, here's a fellow Sith Lord. You know, it's like, now there are two of them. Like, remember that?
Yeah.
And then, but in these episodes, Dooku refers to Ventress as his apprentice.
Okay.
When he starts training Savage, though... Oh, that was because the Nightsisters, they, like, cloaked themselves with invisibility and then attacked him in his PJs.
And he thought they were, like, Jedi attacking him at night. I was like, did the Jedi ever come in?
That was
secretly undercover.
But the Nightsisters had lightsabers, so I assume
yeah.
those are just lightsabers from like Jedi they had killed over the centuries. Like they just come across, fighting a Jedi in battle every now and then, and
Sure.
yeah, we might use this lightsaber someday. I like how collective they are. Like they work together. The Nightsisters, they're like a community, like they do things together. Whereas like the Sith are so individualistic, and even like the Jedi, you could say, are kind of more. You're kind of a solo operator in a lot of these missions.
Yeah, they send like 2 max usually.
Yeah, they don't go out and when you fight someone with a lightsaber or lift something up with the Force. I know sometimes they team up, but a lot of times it's just like one-on-one. And the Nightsisters, they have like entire rituals and spells where it's like multiple people dancing or like chanting. It's like a lot of team effort from them.
Yeah, agree.
And then like the attack on Dooku, which. It's funny to see Dooku in his PJs. They actually make that a skin for Dooku in the Star Wars Battlefront video game. You can play as Dooku in his PJs. But yeah, that false flag kind of attack on Dooku, like he thinks it was a Jedi attack on his life.
Yeah.
Yeah, that kind of foreshadows Dark Disciple, the Asajj Ventress novel that we've both read, that kind of tells her the conclusion of her story for the Clone Wars. But in that book, the Jedi actually do try to assassinate Dooku.
Yeah.
They're like, we're gonna try to get Quinlan Vos close to him and then assassinate him. And this is kind of a dirty move for Jedi. This is kind of like not in our nature. I don't know. I feel like I'm doing all the talking.
Oh, you're fine. So like Savage becomes Dooku's apprentice-ish assassin, whatever we want to call him. Because Dooku is like, I can't just be doing this alone. Like, I need a buddy here to protect me in case I get, like, attacked in the middle of the night in my PJs again. And he starts training Savage pretty ruthlessly with his, like, lightning power.
By the way, what is the favor that Mother Talzin says that she owes Dooku? Like, I don't know if that's ever been explained in anything yet.
I don't know.
That they had some previous history. I know at the time, StarWars.com said that it might even go back to Dooku's time as a Jedi.
Yeah, I don't know anything about that.
But yeah, maybe we'll have that story told at some point. But yeah, Dooku training Savage, it's not dissimilar from like Luke being trained by Yoda when he's like, you ask the impossible. Like, that's like a Savage Opress line in here. Is like, what you ask is impossible.
But Savage Opress is being, like, electrocuted the whole time, so that is a big difference.
It is the big difference. But yeah, it's like the same lesson. Dooku is like, oh no, you only think it's too much matter for you to lift, because you're just thinking of all this material stuff. You're not really thinking of the Force as this energy field that connects all these beings. It's like the same lesson. It's just taught in a more...
He's like, I'm 2 days old, Master. God. Give me a break.
When he shows up with the dead body of King Katunko, and then he's getting, like, shocked by Dooku, and he's like, Master, forgive me. And Dooku's just like, sorry, that is not the way of the dark side. Forgive? We don't do that here. But Joel in the live audience says Dooku should have ridden on his back, so they could have had Dooku in a backpack on Savage Opress like Yoda funny. And Luke. I would have liked that. But yeah, and then Ventress is she's kind of a good student of the Sith in that she's just as shitty in a lot of ways. Because like Dooku is like, okay, I'm gonna learn how to become more powerful than my master. And then me and this guy, Savage Opress, are going to go overthrow him. I'm just kind of using him as a utensil to get what I want, though. I don't really care about him or his well-being or his agency. I'm just using him. But then, like, Asajj Ventress is doing the exact same thing with Savage, except her target is Dooku.
Right.
But it's, like, the exact same thing. So they're pretty terrible people.
Yeah.
There is a little redemption for Ventress eventually. Dooku does not live to be redeemed. But yeah, when everything does kind of go tits up. It's like Savage was almost too powerful to be controlled by Ventress. Um, but it's weird because they do this with both Ventress and Savage. Like, they can both go home to Dathomir, and Mother Talzin is like, "Oh, you poor thing, you just need to go do this." Like, she's like that with Savage, and she's also like that with Ventress. But maybe she's just using Savage to go get Maul. Like, I don't know. I don't remember the importance of bringing Darth Maul back. Why the Nightsisters wanted to do that?
He's cool as hell.
But I feel like Darth Maul in the Phantom Menace, like he's a cool visual. He's like a acrobat from hell with a double-bladed lightsaber, and he's scary looking, and he fights the good guys because he's a bad guy. But like there's not much, like there's not really any character there at all. Like I feel like the Nemoidians, I feel like Captain Panaka, the security guard, has more personality than Darth Maul in the Phantom Menace. So I think just what we've seen of Darth Maul so far chronologically, and then what we've seen here of Savage Opress, I think he's such a more compelling character. Like I see where he came from. I feel sorry for him. I see what he's gone through. Oh, we didn't even talk about how he wiped out those 2 Jedi and all those clones. He went and attacked that Jedi temple. And that was really cool because they brought in I used it for the thumbnail for this on YouTube, but they brought in the Republic Commando clones from the video game, the 2005 Xbox game, Republic Commandos, which I just replayed for the first time in 21 years. But Delta Squad, that was Boss and Sev and Scorch and Fixer. I don't know if you see all of them in this episode, but Scorch comes back in the Bad Batch. He's actually a recurring character working for the Empire. So I liked seeing those guys. It's like, oh man, like this scary Sith Lord who wiped out our clones and our Jedi. Like, we have to send in commandos to just recover the bodies.
Yeah.
It's that dangerous. And Obi-Wan Kenobi being like, how could Darth Maul still be alive when he sees the holo recording? Mm-hmm. It's like, dude, that's kind of messed up. Like, you think all Zabraks look the same? Mm-hmm. I mean, if they're brothers, I guess it's a little bit more excusable that they would look similar, but they're so, the Jedi are kind of mean to Savage Opress. They're like, what a mindless animal.
Yeah, they call him like a monster.
Yeah. It's like, this guy didn't ask for any of this, y'all.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it ends with the setup of Darth Maul still being alive and teasing his eventual return, which the writers of the show weren't sure how they were going to do that, I guess, but Lucas just told him, like, oh, you'll figure it out.
Yeah, drop it in there. We don't really have to continue it if we don't want to, but it's there as an option if we want to pick it up later.
Oh, he wanted them. He was like, y'all figure it out. It was like an order, like, make it make sense. Make Darth Maul still being alive make sense. And we can debate if it does or not when we get to it. But anything else on the Nightsisters arc before we move on to the Mortis stuff? I'll look at my notes, see if I have anything.
My only thing is that I wish Ventress had some more wins as a bad guy, because I feel like constantly she's having to retreat or she misses her mark just barely. And I mean, I guess that's okay because I do like her redemption arc a lot, and I think it works better with her having failed a lot.
Yeah, like if we had seen her like kill a bunch of Jedi, we wouldn't want to forgive her later.
Yeah, but I do feel bad for her. She's trying so goddamn hard in this arc, and she fails like multiple times. That sucks. But I do like the next arc a lot. Well, I like it. There's things about it I think are annoying, but there's a lot that I do like about it too.
The Mortis arc. So this is Overlords, Altar of Mortis, Ghost of Mortis, Season 3, episodes 15 through 17. Mm-hmm. So what happens in Overlords?
Season 3, Episode 15, Overlords. Obi-Wan, Anakin, and Ahsoka become stranded on a mysterious planet where the Force is very strong. 3 powerful entities called the Father, Son, and Daughter live there. The Father tries to convince Anakin to stay and remain, as Anakin will be the only one able to control the Son and Daughter since he is the chosen one.
And the moral is balance is found in the one who faces his guilt. Yeah, this episode's weird. They're responding to an old distress call. They're like, here's a 2,000-year-old Jedi distress call. And then it's like this giant holocron looking thing in
Yeah.
space, like this very weird structure. Like, obviously, like an artificial structure. And then these 3 episodes, like, all take place in like a moment. We eventually learn. But it's questionable what happens. Do they actually go to a planet? Are they actually like transported somewhere in the galaxy, or maybe in another galaxy, or like who knows? Like they do seem to be like somewhere, or is this all just like a collective dream they all have?
Good question. I think it's a physical place.
But it's something that the franchise still has not answered, and these episodes bring up a lot of questions. But essentially, just what we see here is they find this old guy who's like, I have this green-haired hippie daughter who's like into crystals, and I also have this like emo hot topic son who is like very goth and moody, and they can't get along. And you like ask Anakin, like, you're the chosen one, right? I heard the Jedi found the chosen one. Like, you can keep them in line, right? I can die, and you can just like live here and keep my kids in line and make sure they don't fight each other too much. And Anakin's like, no. And so they start this process of, like, each episode it seems like they're going to leave Mortis, but then, like, they just come back. It's like, it looks like they're going to take off in their ship, but they can't actually go anywhere. Because they're not actually, like, it is like a dream. Like, they all just, like, wake up in their ship eventually. But I mean, I don't know. I guess they could have been transported somewhere. Like, we kind of see something like that in Ahsoka. But anyways, like, we get into our next episode, Altar of Mortis.
Before the Jedi can leave Mortis, the Son takes Ahsoka captive in an attempt to entice Anakin into joining him to use their combined strength to overpower his father and sister. To this end, the Son casts Ahsoka under the spell of the dark side, and she battles Anakin when he comes to rescue her, and later battles with Obi-Wan. After a battle between the son and the daughter is stopped by the father, Ahsoka steals the dagger that controls the son. The son is about to kill the father, but the daughter sacrifices herself to save the father and returns Ahsoka to normal as well by the daughter transferring her life to Ahsoka.
Yeah, and then the moral on that episode is he who surrenders hope surrenders life. That is interesting that you see that Anakin sees the, you can use the Force to save someone's life. Mm-hmm. So maybe that's like a big part of why he's so like, I gotta keep this guy alive to tell me the secret of how to save the life of my wife. Later, he's like I've seen that is actually possible. Mm-hmm. And it's about like the same rules that like we later see with Rey and with Grogu. We're both able to do Force healing. Mm-hmm. Like the daughter like gave her life to Ahsoka. But did she? Is she like and it being animated too, it makes it like a little harder to tell. Like, oh, are these people supposed to look human, or are they supposed to look like quasi-human? And I don't know. It's very hard to know how to interpret this, and I get that ambiguity is supposed to be part of the point. And what happens in the next one is the one where like Anakin turns bad, right? The ghost of Mortis.
Yeah, the Jedi remain stranded on Mortis, and the Son, aligned with the dark side of the Force, renews his effort to convert Anakin as the Jedi prepare for a decisive confrontation. To turn Anakin to the dark side, the Son shows Anakin future images of himself causing so much pain and death as the Sith Lord Darth Vader. This works, and Anakin joins the Son out of fear that what he saw would actually happen. Ahsoka disables the ship upon hearing that Anakin joined the Son and leaves to help Obi-Wan find the Father. The Father later confronts Anakin and erases his memory of the terrible vision the Son had shown him. When the Son tries to kill the Father steals the sword and uses it to kill himself, taking away his son's power, allowing Anakin to kill the Son and restore the balance. And the moral is, he who seeks to control fate shall never find peace.
Yeah, so it's like the Son tried to stab the Father. The Son tried to stab the Father in the previous episode, but then the daughter got in the way, so the Son stabs the daughter on accident. And then later, when this happens, the son gets stabbed by the father, and then the father stabs himself.
Yeah.
But did any of this really happen? Like, are these actual? And so these characters that we meet in this episode, they're often talked about, or oh, these are like the Force gods or the gods of Mortis, and like one of them is the embodiment of the light side, and and now Ahsoka is going to be that embodiment of the light side, and that's why she's followed by this little owl creature that I think is in the next episode, but you said that's a different owl.
It's a different owl.
But
I think there's a lot of back and forth and up and down in these episodes. Like, they're constantly like, oh, you go get the father. Oh, I'll go get the son. Oh, you go get the daughter. I'll go get the father. Obi-Wan, you go do this. And it's a lot of like, oh, I'll take the speeder and go over here. Oh, I'll take this other speeder and go over here.
I do like their compact speeders.
Yeah, that is pretty cool.
That could fit in their ship.
There's a lot of runaround in this arc. And it seems a little silly.
Yeah, because they had to pad it out to be 3 episodes.
I know, that's crazy. But I also think that a lot of it was... I think it's weird that Obi-Wan is there if he's not supposed to be the father. I think, like, in this idea that Anakin is the father is wrong, and that Anakin and Ahsoka should have been son and daughter, and it made more sense for Obi-Wan to be father.
But Anakin's the chosen one. He's the one to bring balance to the Force.
No, it's not. It's his son Luke that is. And they're
that's
wrong.
Actually not true. It is Anakin is the...
No, he's wrong. It's wrong. I think Anakin was supposed to be the dark side here. And, like, it's like this, like, red herring episode where we think he's supposed to be the father, but he isn't. And, I don't know. There's, like, I don't like that the daughter dies, like, protecting her dad. I think that's kind of silly. Like the way that it was animated, and it's supposed to be, like, shocking, and I don't know if
but
that
do you
really
think
landed.
These are, like, real, like, the Force wielders? They're, like, I guess people had heard of these. Because, like, Obi-Wan or Anakin, someone's like, oh, yeah, I think I've heard of these Force wielders. Like, the Jedi have encountered these beings. Are they individual, like, flesh and blood people who just, like, got so powerful in the Force? Like, was the father just, like, this guy who got, like, so big into the Force that, like, he had to create his daughter and son to kind of, to be his continuation, but, like, they weren't balanced? Like, they went, like, one extreme light and one extreme dark? Or are they, like, the actual, like, manifestations of these concepts that...
I don't think it matters. To me, it doesn't matter whether they're physically there or non-corporeal and just have, like, an image for the episode. I think, like, the most important takeaway is that they're just trying to accentuate that the Sith have, like, dark and light, or, like, the 2 and 1, and, like, now they're trying to say, like, oh, the light side also has, like, rules, and, like, there's also supposed to be a balance, and whatever, blah, blah, blah. I'm not saying they did a great job. I think this arc is entertaining, to me. Like, I like all the drama, I guess, but... I don't know. I think they could be non-corporeal, and maybe this is a dream, and, like, it's all manifesting. But, like, they're definitely super long living, like, thousands of years old, you know?
And whenever George Lucas was explaining all this stuff to the Clone Wars writers, like, it could have honestly been something that got, like, way weirder than they wanted. And so that's why they don't want to, like, really explain this. Because if you remember... Well, I don't know how much you ever heard about George Lucas's idea for the sequel trilogy that he was going to pitch with what his idea for what episode 7 should be. But it was eventually going to be that, like, they were actually going to be characters that, like, live inside people's bloodstreams. Like in the midi-chlorians, there'd be, like, a micro-universe, like, inside of, like
Osmosis Jones?
Yeah, he was going to do, like, Osmosis Jones in, like, the midi-chlorian realm.
That's too much.
So maybe it turns out, like, the father and the son and daughter, that was all, like, in someone's blood.
Maybe
I don't know. And that's where they were transported to. And Dave Filoni knows that, but he heard, like, George Lucas's weird-ass explanation for it, and he's like, well, we're never going to explain that on screen.
Enough of that shit.
But yeah, I don't know, but maybe there's something there that is... It's hard for me to pin down what I would want this to be. Like, I kind of, like... It was just a bit too weird for Star Wars for me.
It's so Father, Son, and Holy Ghost. It's hard. It's so hard to not think
A
that.
holy trinity.
Yeah.
The Father, the Daughter, the Son.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's the same but different enough. But yeah, could have been like an inspiration for that,
And the chosen one.
but you
Come
know,
on.
we see all this stuff in Rebels, and like we see like a lot of like references to these figures. Like in Ahsoka, there's like that big statue of the Father, stuff we haven't got. So I guess like the main thing we should do now that the stuff has been established in our chronological watch of Star Wars, we can just kind of be on the lookout for it when it's referenced again.
Mortis iconography.
Yeah. And I guess like the other big thing that happens in these episodes is Anakin gets the vision of how terrible he's going to be when he becomes Vader. Like you see it, like they made it like an alien youngling, I guess to make it a little bit more acceptable on Cartoon Network. But like they show like one of his youngling victims.
Yeah.
They show Alderaan being blown up, so like mass genocide. He sees how terrible he becomes, and he's like, "Oh, I guess I'll do some dark side stuff now to prevent all that other dark side stuff."
Right. That doesn't make
I
any
would
sense,
do.
Anakin. You're stupid. Yeah, I also didn't like Ahsoka being mind dark-sided during the second episode where she's like possessed or whatever. That was a lot.
They got the original actors for not just Qui-Gon Jinn, it's actual Liam Neeson doing the voice, but then the Shmi Skywalker lady
okay.
came back also.
For their
But
Force ghosts.
are those really their spirits, or is that just the son fucking with Anakin?
It could be either.
Because you know all those visions could just be false, but yeah, I don't. That's interesting that you bring up like, oh, it should be Obi-Wan as the father and Anakin as the son, and Ahsoka as the daughter. But like, that's not the. I don't know. It's not like the Jedi way isn't to be like balanced between light and dark. Like the Jedi is like light is good and dark like light. The light side is like good and selfless, and the dark side is like evil and selfish. So it's like whatever the Father's philosophy is, it's very separate from the Jedi view of the Force, I think.
Okay.
But I don't know. Maybe there will be more explanations for Mortis in the future. It's funny that the Father erases all the spoilers from Anakin's mind, but there was like a moment in time where like he knew of the coming Empire and of Palpatine's master plan and all of that. Are we ready for the Citadel?
Sure.
Okay, so the next 3 episodes, the Citadel arc, we get Tarkin, we get a Jedi Master Even Pill. So what happens here? Season 3, episode 18.
An elite team of Jedi attempts to free Master Even Peel, who is in possession of hyperdrive coordinates that could harm both Separatists and Jedi alike from an impenetrable prison, encountering reprogrammed battle droids, carbonite chambers, and a younger Captain Tarkin along the way, before he joined the Galactic Empire, obviously, because it doesn't exist yet, right? It is revealed that Peel and Tarkin each have memorized half of the coordinates.
And then the moral of the episode, adaptation is the key to survival. And that was episode 18, The Citadel. Then we have episode 19, Counterattack.
With freed prisoners in their possession and brutal warden Osi Sobek attempting desperately to thwart them, Obi-Wan and Anakin search for a way out of the Citadel and back to Coruscant. The prison, however, has more traps, perils, and pitfalls in store for them than they had imagined, and they must work past their differences if they are to escape. ARC Trooper Echo is seemingly killed in battle. Seemingly.
Yeah, we know that Echo will come back because we've seen the Bad Batch, but because we can spoil anything on the show except for Skeleton Crew. Hashtag no spoilers for Skeleton Crew. But the moral of the episode is anything that can go wrong will. That's a little bit of Murphy's Law, yeah. But so yeah, they free Jedi Master Even Pill and his Captain Tarkin from the Citadel, and then in episode episode 20, Citadel Rescue.
While finding their way out of the Citadel prison, which is under the command of the separatist O.C. Sobek, the elite team's ship was destroyed, forcing them to wait for a rescue by the Republic fleet. Along the way to the rendezvous point, they encounter waves of droid squads, which they have to fight in order to evacuate freed prisoners and save the information they hold. The Jedi attempt to escape, but are cornered by a pack of Anubas, who kill Even Peel. But before he dies, he gives his half of the information to Ahsoka, telling her not to reveal it to anyone but the Jedi Council. Yet, as the Jedi are about to escape, they are cornered by Sobek, who tries to kill Tarkin, but is stabbed and killed by Ahsoka. Plo Koon then arrives and rescues the Jedi, taking them back to Coruscant.
And then the moral is, without honor, victory is hollow. Which was, I guess, Obi-Wan saying, like, no, it's good that the Jedi follow the Jedi code, and that without, like, an honorable victory, there's no victory at all. And Tarkin and Anakin are like, yeah, we would just rather win. We would just rather ditch the Jedi code and win. Like, any victory is victory. Yeah. Honorable or not. So, yeah, the fashy bromance that we see between Tarkin and Anakin, I like that. I like when they show... foreshadowing the Vaderisms and Anakin.
Tarkin is such a little shit in these episodes, though. Like, every time someone makes a suggestion or says a plan, he's like, that's not how I would do it. Like, every time. And he's just, like, contrarian as hell.
Well, I don't know. He's making a good case. Maybe we should listen to him. Maybe if we want to win this war, we need men like him on our side.
Yeah, he's a lot.
That's Anakin's take on it.
I think this episode stresses me out because... they lose more people than they gain, and they also don't end up rescuing the person they're actually going to rescue.
They went to go rescue Even. Well, they weren't just going to rescue him out of the kindness of their hearts. Like,
they needed that info.
We leave no Jedi behind. It's like, yeah, he had some valuable intel. So I think the information he has, the hyperspace routes that could get either deep into Separatist space or deep into Republic space... this is eventually what I assume gets used in Revenge of the Sith in that opening battle of Coruscant when Dooku attacks Coruscant and has Palpatine captured. So I think they want to contain this information because they don't want the war to end just yet. This is like, we need to hold on to this for when we're ready to end the war. This is how we'll... it's like a controlled war. Like, Palpatine's fighting a controlled war against himself. Like, Dooku and the Separatists are taking orders from Darth Sidious.
It also could be a little bit of, like, if we give it time, they'll forget we have these coordinates or whatever. Or, like, they won't question where we learned these coordinates as much if we give it space from when they were received. Because, like, Palpatine would have given it to Dooku, right?
Yeah, but, like, it's something that'll happen next year in 19 BBY.
Yeah. But yeah, I thought, like, the escape stuff was kind of long. Like, at times where they're like, and we're running away from droids again, and we're in the air shaft things again. And then we're, I don't know, like that, oh man, and there's so many brutal clone deaths in this arc. Like,
yeah,
when they're rock climbing up the wall, and, like, I feel so bad. First of all, they're, like, raw dogging this mountain, like, because of the mines, so they don't have anything, like, keeping them on there. And this one clone is the very last one to step up on the freaking thing, and a rock falls, and he literally falls to his death. I'm like, god damn, like, that guy just spent, like, 15 hours climbing this wall just to die at the very last step.
Yeah, it was, like, the last step.
Yeah, and then there's another one, like, where they're, like, in the air tunnels or something, and then the bad guys are, like, closing all of the ports or whatever, and one of the clones gets literally sliced in half by one of the doors opening and closing.
Yeah, the show is starting to get more and more graphic with, like, every season. You really feel it in season 4. You're like, oh, this has become a much more grown-up show than it was in season 1.
Yeah.
At least as far as violence goes. I don't know if anything else really matures. Okay, that's questionable to call that maturity. Like, is that mature to be more graphic with your violence?
I guess.
I guess it's just acceptable for more mature audiences. I like Vader's carbonite trick. Anakin comes up with the idea of, like, oh, I think to hide our life signs, we can infiltrate the Citadel on a droid ship and then hide the Jedi and clones as carbonite. Mm-hmm. And then, in The Empire Strikes Back, Vader is like, oh, we can do that. We'll test it out on Han Solo, and if it works, we'll do it with Luke. He's like, I'm gonna test it out on this guy first, and if it works for him, then I'll put my kid in it.
Yeah. The other thing I thought was fun was R2 having 3 battle droids reporting to him. And they were, like, kicking him and stuff, do you remember? And he's like, and they got into, like, the closed room, and he, like, zapped the droid, and he's like, sorry.
Oh, but, like, at the end, when they were like, sir, it was an honor serving under you.
I know. I was like, aw.
Do you think R2 ever thinks of those guys?
Yeah. He's probably thinking every time he sees C-3PO, he's like, I wish you had, like, a modicum of respect that those droids had for me.
There's a cool extraction battle at the end, like when they finally are making their escape from the, like, you know, after they think they've lost Echo.
Yeah.
Poor Echo. He's just going to turn into a cyborg and join the Bad Batch. He'll get to be in more episodes than most of these clones in the long run, I guess. But after that, they have, like, that cool space battle. And it was like some big Jedi, like, showed up. Like, was Plo Koon one of the pilots?
Yeah.
And then they asked Plo Koon about, did you really tell Ahsoka she had permission to go on this mission?
Oh, he's like, it seems like
yeah,
I did.
Apparently I did.
I like that he covers her butt. Like,
but they needed her. She was the only one small enough to go into that vent.
Yeah.
So if they hadn't had her, they would have been fucked. They never would have had Tarkin.
Yeah.
Anakin never would have made his fashy romantic friend Tarkin. But yeah, I made a note that was a cool battle in that last episode. And it's so shitty that they did like that big lava funeral for Even Pill, but they don't care about the clones.
Yeah, I brought that up too. I was like, that is annoying. And also, like in the previous arc where or in the Nightsisters arc where Savage kills those 2 Jedi, but we don't see their funerals. Like, but yeah, the big thing is, it's weird that they would take time to wrap up the Jedi.
Like, these clones are thinking, like, I just saw a brother cut in half.
And one of my brothers just fell into, like, I don't know, a lava vat at the bottom of this massive cliff. Like, I guess he did get a lava funeral.
Yeah, like Rex and Cody and Fives, they all think, like, Echo is, like,
Yeah.
like Fives is going, like, I guess I'm the sole survivor of Domino Squad. And then it's like, well, all the Jedi care about is the fallen Jedi.
Yeah.
The clone sacrifice is just unseen.
The clones aren't mad enough. Anyway, I don't think I have anything more to add to the Citadel stuff.
Yeah, it's a good
it
arc.
Was very action-packed, very suspenseful.
Yeah, it's a good war story. I like them doing, like, okay, what would it actually be like the battles of the Clone Wars? And like, oh yeah, having like a Jedi prisoner that you have to go and extract before he can leak his valuable information. Like, seems like a very war story. It kind of had like that fun, like, objective of like a quest type mission. Mm-hmm. This wasn't like, like Mortis, where it's like, are we leaving Mortis? Are we staying on Mortis? It's like, it was very linear. It was a good...
Yeah, you needed a break from that arc.
But it ends with Obi-Wan pointing out, like, oh yeah, like, Anakin, you and Tarkin, I guess y'all are friends now. I don't know what to think of your new ally. And Anakin's like, well, I like him. I think he's based. So,
Anakin is wrong a lot.
So our next 2 episodes, Padawan Lost and Wookiee Hunt. What's going on here? This closes out season 3.
This is the Predator episodes.
Yeah.
I actually know about the Predator now, so when I watched this was a different for me this time.
Yeah, you've seen some Predator movies now.
Yeah,
We watched those last year, right?
Yeah. So the first one, Padawan Lost, Ahsoka gets captured by Trandoshans during a battle on the planet Felucia. They drop her off on a planet where they intend to hunt her and others for sport. Ahsoka encounters 3 Jedi younglings named Khalifa, Jinx, and Omir, whom she teams up with to survive. The next day, they set out to escape the Trandoshans, but are found and hunted. The lead Trandoshan's son is accidentally killed, and in revenge, his father shoots and kills Khalifa. Ahsoka promises to take care of the other 2 younglings as Khalifa dies.
Yeah, sad. One thing that I did wonder about this episode, though, okay, Taylor wants me to say the moral before I forget.
Yeah.
Without humility, courage is a dangerous game.
There you go.
You made me forget the thing I was going to say. Well, it's okay. Well, let's talk about Wookiee Hunt. What happens in Wookiee
Okay.
Hunt?
In Wookiee Hunt, Ahsoka and her allies struggle to evade the Trandoshan hunters. Their efforts receive an unexpected boost when a new captive arrives. Chewbacca, the Wookiee. Together, the younglings Ahsoka and Chewie attack the Trandoshan fortress, and with the help of the other Wookiee warriors, are able to kill a large number of Trandoshans. This is like a brag in there.
Yeah.
Ahsoka herself kills the Trandoshan leader Garnak with a powerful force push.
Oh, one thing we didn't comment on in the Citadel arc is Ahsoka's the one who kills the Warden.
Yeah, it's in.
And-
I said that in the summary.
But we were wondering, is that the first time she kills like a flesh and blood being, not a droid?
Yeah, yeah. I think we both were wondering that.
Yeah.
Because it is interesting to do that after the Mortis arc,
Oh.
after she'd been on the dark side.
What's the name of the Obi-Wan voice actor, by the way?
James Taylor Arnold.
James Taylor Arnold.
Or James Arnold Taylor.
James Arnold Taylor. He also did the voice of the Citadel Warden guy, Sobek. And I thought he had like a lot of like Willem Dafoe vibes, like kind of like the look of the character,
Sure.
but also like the voice. But Obi-Wan guy, I can't remember because he just has like 3 first names. James
Arnold
Arnold
Taylor.
Yeah, he has 3 first. Like you could put those in any order.
I know.
But Taylor Arnold James said
James Arnold James. That guy.
Obi-Wan guy.
Yeah.
But he said he was basing the voice on Christopher Walken meets Al Pacino.
Okay, these are things.
Well, yeah, they're actors. So just going forward, I now will think of Christopher Walken plus Al Pacino equals Willem Dafoe. And I'm not going to elaborate. That's just...
Okay.
That's
The
just
only
the formula.
one whose voice I kind of know is William Dafoe.
Willem. You don't even know his name.
Oh, I don't. I've only seen him as the Green Goblin.
You know Christopher Walken, though. You've seen him and stuff.
Yes, but...
He has a very famous voice and speaking pattern.
Is he not Peacemaker's dad?
No, that's the guy from...
they look alike.
That's the guy who played Agent Doggett in the last season of X-Files I never watched.
We don't need to get into this. My movie
But
trivia...
the T-1000 guy.
He's
the T-1000 guy is what he's mainly
Anyway,
known
also,
for.
what is the moral for Wookiee Hunt? Don't skip that.
A great student is what the teacher hopes to be. So, like, the teacher wants to be a student, too? Like, the teacher... A great student is what a teacher would want to be. Like, they want to, like, learn, too. I don't... That's kind of confusing.
A great student is what the teacher hopes to be.
Yeah.
I don't know about that. That one, my brain is... I'm about to be brained out for the day. But, yeah, this arc is kind of very Predator. Also very Gorn, Star Trek-y.
Yeah,
Gorn.
we were saying that Clone Wars, like, it's closer to what we want from, like, Star Trek to do with the Gorn. Like, on Strange New Worlds, they're so far away from the TOS Gorn. Yeah. And we'd like them to be closer.
Yeah. The, like, hissing and, like, growling lizards.
See, this is where I'm such, like, a diehard Star Trek fan, but this is where I have to say, like, Star Wars is doing it a little better. And it pains me to say that, but it's like... Star Wars is not embarrassed of their cheesy old sci-fi lizard men, and Star Trek is.
They lean into it. Yeah, I agree that Star Trek could do better. Like, lean into... Like, that's what makes TOS so... Okay, this isn't the Trek podcast, but that's what makes TOS so good, is that they leaned in. They're like, yeah, this may look good.
Arena is showy as hell of the Gorn. They're like, no, we're going to show you that we're going to give you close-ups of, like, every angle of his face. Yeah,
Gorn
like...
head whip. So much.
Like, if you can't handle this Gorn design, then get the fuck out, because this ain't the episode for you.
Yeah,
like, I and, like, here, like, the Clone Wars, they're like, oh, we're gonna make these guys look like how Bosk looked in 1980 in The Empire Strikes Back. It's kind of funny to me, like, when they get injured, the Trandoshans do that
squawking.
Yeah, that squawking to, like,
on all fours, like, screeching. It's kind of gross.
You would get mad every time one did that.
I was probably like, bleh.
Yeah, you were like, shut the fuck up. Like,
it was an annoying sound. But I did like their ship a lot. Like, they have a bunch of trophies, which is very Predator. A ton of Wookiee skins, which is pretty sad. And yeah, they apparently just, like, this. There's a lot of, I think, capture people and then hunt them down, and a lot of things I've seen like that came up in Supernatural a couple of times too. But it was interesting to see that there were 3 Jedi younglings or Jedi old Padawans that had been captured, you know, and that they were still alive.
Oh yeah. We get the human kid, the Twi'lek kid, and who was the other one? There's another alien one, right? What were they?
Were they the long,
the younglings?
long head?
Oh yeah, the Coyote Mundi,
Yeah.
conehead dude. Yeah, like little baby Coyote Mundi.
Yeah, but it was pretty sad to see them. They've lost all their hope, and they're just...
Oh, this is what I was going to say earlier, but I forgot. So I never thought about it till I watched this episode, but why do Jedi have accents? They should all have like a very neutral Coruscant accent.
Well,
right?
as
like,
you've said...
They grew up there as children.
Yeah, but you constantly tell me that they aren't kidnapped as babies, that they're taken at different ages, and they're allowed to stay on certain planets for a certain amount of time.
If you go to a different country at 5 years old,
you would still probably have the accent of that
I think you would lose your accent of your old country.
Yeah.
I mean, like, it would depend.
Maybe it depends on who their masters are, or maybe like where they're stationed the longest. I don't know.
But
I'm guessing they'd be on the council.
All of their Jedi masters spent their childhood on Coruscant too.
Oh,
so,
fair.
It stood out to me when the Twi'lek youngling had a Twi'lek accent. You know, he's talking like he's Cham Syndulla.
Yeah, that definitely would not be a nature thing. That would be a nurture thing.
Right. But I don't know. Maybe he hadn't been brought into the youngling order for very long.
I don't know.
We don't know the exact ages that they recruit those kids. We just know that like Anakin was too old at 9. It was like way too old. So I guess like 0 through 5. Like they want to get it like before kindergarten.
Sure. But yeah, I do like how vicious the Trandoshans were in this. Like they definitely seemed to have the upper hand a lot. And I think it was actually kind of, I don't know if I laughed. I don't know if it's funny haha or just funny like cringe. But like when the son dies, like he's quote accidentally killed, and then the dad's like, nah. I'm like, what the hell do you think is gonna happen? Like sometimes your hunts aren't gonna, like sometimes your prey is gonna also hunt you back. Like that's like common knowledge within hunters.
So what would you do if like someone we knew, like who like lives around where we live in Kyle, Texas, and they went like deer hunting, and they're like, man, like this doe just like killed my son.
I mean, that's the risk you take when you go out and hunt.
Fair.
It is. Deer can kick.
But yeah, creature's entitled to fight for its life.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, like, I don't know. I kind of think like just that for example. Like, I think it's kind of chicken shit to like just set out a deer corn every day and get like a deer to like come over there onto your land, and then like one day you shoot the deer. But like a lot of people do that.
Yeah, that's fucked up. Don't do that.
But yeah, it's like hunting in general is kind of chicken shit in a lot of ways. But yeah, it's interesting to tell like these kinds of stories of like, well, what if you were the prey? You know, very like the most dangerous game. I don't know if you read that at any point in your life. A lot of people read it in high school. We read it in high school at my school. But it's basically like humankind is the most dangerous game.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you were saying, like it's very like Predator, and you know, it's more, we see the Clone Wars do a lot of other movies, and like, you know, we were talking previously how they did like, they did do Die Hard, and they kind of do like Manchurian Candidate a little bit with Savage Opress, I guess. This is definitely very Predator-ish though.
It took me, I giggled when it was Chewie that they dropped down. I think that was a little silly.
It's very reserved for Clone Wars to wait until the end of season 3 before like bringing in like one of the big players from the original trilogy. But yeah, like Chewie is like next to Han, Luke, and Leia. He's like the biggest original trilogy character. I mean, like the droids and Obi-Wan, but they're already in this, so it's like, but they make it Ahsoka who meets him, so it's a bit more forgivable. Like, it would have been really weird if, like, Obi-Wan knew Chewbacca, and then, like, they see each other in the bar later, and they're like, remember that time we dealt with those Trandoshans during the Clone Wars 20 years ago? So I like it being Ahsoka. Ahsoka, I would say, she's kind of like the Forrest Gump of the Star Wars timeline. Like, she meets all the important people. Like, she has met Chancellor Palpatine before he became Emperor. She goes on to meet Luke Skywalker later. Like,
She meets Leia, right?
not that we've ever seen in anything, but I imagine she had to have.
She's like second.
She's not in the Rebels episode that Leia's in, or
because Hera's the person I think dealing with that.
Right.
But yeah,
they would know each other.
They would
from
know
something.
of each other.
I'm sure in like a book or something they've met, or in something. Where's Ahsoka supposed to be during the Battle of Endor? I think like there's a canonical answer for like she had like some participation in that.
Oh, I thought she wasn't in the mystical wherever.
No, she gets out of that by the end of Rebels.
Oh yeah. Well,
she's around. She's around during all the original trilogy, like all of that stuff. She would have been able to do things.
I don't have the answer to that one.
But I don't know. These episodes, I felt like it didn't need to be 2 episodes though. They could have probably just done this in 1.
Yeah.
But I do like the Trandoshans. I like their funny squawking noises they make when because they're like such like mean, vicious predators.
Yeah.
Especially like when they're like you know, in a pack. But then like as soon as one is injured, it turns like this whimpering baby as it's like like calling for help.
Yeah. Mama.
Yeah, it's like that's how most bullies are though, you know. So
yeah,
but yeah, they crack me up. But that's how predators are, you know, like a predator, like it's to talk about Star Trek for a little bit, but Jellicoe in the Cardassians, he described that Cardassian goal. He's like a predator, like a wolf. Like he's cautious when he's just alone, but he's bold when he has like some other numbers with him. You know, it's like that pack mentality. But you get them 1-on-1, and then they can be kind of cowardly.
Yeah,
I don't know, just like an interesting predator mentality. Speaking of predator, okay, so are we ready to jump to season 4?
Yep.
Okay, well, it starts off with a bang, or should I say with a splash, but Water War. We get the Water War trilogy opening season 4, the new, more action-packed, more violent season of the Clone Wars. So, starting with season 4, episode 1, Water War.
Okay,
Right here.
Okay, so it's that one and that one and that one. Okay, sorry guys. Okay, Water War. Anakin, Padme, Kit Fisto, and Ahsoka find themselves on the planet of Mon Calamari, helping to keep the peace in a near civil war. But the Separatists have another plan. Will the Jedi and the inhabitants of Mon Calamari join forces and push back the invaders, or will another planet fall into the hands of the Separatists? An underwater battle takes place as the Republic attempts to save the planet from falling.
And then the moral is, when destiny calls, the chosen have no choice.
And then in the Gungan attack, after the Separatists defeat most of the Republic forces on Mon Calamari, the Jedi Council are forced to call in the help of Jar Jar Binks, I don't know, and the Grand Gungan army to aid the remaining Republic forces on the planet. However, in the aftermath of the battle, those forces and the Jedi are captured, leaving Ahsoka and Prince Lee Char to devise a new strategy.
And the moral is, only through fire is a strong sword forged.
In an underwater episode, just a reminder. Prisoners. After Anakin, Padme, Kit Fisto, and Jar Jar Binks are all captured by Riff Tamson, Ahsoka and Prince Lee Char must find a way to free their friends from the grip of the Separatists. Endeavoring to liberate his planet from the sinister Tamson, Lee Char must now convince the Quarren to rejoin his cause.
And the moral is, crowns are inherited, kingdoms are earned.
So, my big beef with this arc is that Padme and Anakin would probably be dead. Just because of decompression sickness and lack of air.
Star Wars physics, though. Physics don't work the same in the Star Wars universe as they do in ours.
They're literally underwater for like 4 days.
And in Attack of the Clones, there's like sound weapons in space.
How are they peeing and pooping? How are they changing their clothes? Are they not changing their clothes?
I don't know. I assume there's like a dry area they can go to.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they can go to a room that has like the water pumped out and air pumped in, and they can change clothes or bathe or sleep or whatever in there. It's not just like all water all the time, like they're in Atlantis or something.
Okay. But the other thing I wanted to bring up is Smiley Kit Fisto, this whole arc. He is in his environment.
Yeah, it's fun to see him thrive. You'd think, like, why don't they just send him first? Why do they
send Anakin?
Well, imagine why you have Padme there as representative of the Republic, and so we can imagine why, like, she's like, oh, I actually want to bang my husband, so yeah, I'm gonna request Skywalker be my Jedi bodyguard.
Yeah.
But yeah, Kit Fisto would probably be a better choice otherwise. I forgot to say something, by the way, about the Trando arc. I'm so sorry. If I can just go back to Wookiee Hunt. The end of that episode, though, when, like, Anakin gets Ahsoka back.
Uh-huh.
Because, he's been, like, stressed out this whole time about her being captured.
Yeah.
Even, like, Plo Koon was like, dude, like, just chill. You've taught her well. She'll be okay. She'll come back to us. And then, like, when she finally does, and Yoda looks so proud to see Ahsoka and Anakin reunited. And it's like, it was his idea. It was Yoda's idea to give Anakin a Padawan.
Yeah, as his Padawan.
And so this is like Yoda thinking, like, oh, look, I was so wise. I got this. We had this kind of wayward Jedi, Anakin Skywalker. I got him back on the straight and narrow. But eventually, that eventually won't work out. So I just want to bring that up now, because I'm going to bring it up again. Because I think there's something similar when Ahsoka gets drummed out of the Jedi Order. I think Yoda's, like, sad. And it's like his plan backfired and blew up.
Yeah.
If anything, you might have pushed Anakin closer to the dark side.
There's a whole lot about that arc that I have to say, but we won't do it yet.
Talking about the water war stuff, though.
The animation was amazing in this arc, too. I know that they were waiting this long to do water episodes just because they were waiting for their animation.
The animation got a lot better, though. Like, when we last saw a season 1 episode with Senate murders, we were like, holy moly, like, that's such a step down from season 3.
I'm so glad they waited until it was better to do a water episode. They pretty much nailed that. Even, like, the reds and yellows and oranges are muted really well in this arc. I think some of the... I don't know. The Jar Jar Binks stuff is pretty tame, but...
Yeah, I think this is some of the better use of the guns. It's like, oh yeah, they have like a army and they're water creatures. Like, let them bitches fight underwater too. Like
also,
Kit Fisto.
It was funny. One of the first things I said in the first episode was like, "There's no way that Anakin and Padme would hear what's going on because of the way the water and sound work." And in the second episode, when Jar Jar comes in, he goes, "Misa not hear so good because of the water." And I was like, God damn it, he agrees with me. I was like, he's pointing out the same thing I was pointing out.
What did you think when Jar Jar had the spit bubble repair on Padme's...
her helmet crack?
Scuba helmet.
Oh, yeah, that was pretty, I don't think that his spit could travel that fast in water.
He's a Gungan. They evolved for that kind of aquatic... action.
It was pretty nasty. And I like that Padme was pretty grossed out by it too. And she has to have that on her helmet for who God knows how long.
The Shark Man is a very intimidating bad guy. He's like one of the more memorable separatist military leaders we get in the Clone Wars. But Riff Tamson, you see him viciously kill clones. He's
chunking them
yeah,
up.
just taking a big bites out of the sides of these guys. So when you see the shark, there's a couple times when he's gunning for Lee Char, and they made him so intimidating. I think it's kind of a Jaws inspiration.
Sure.
It's kind of this is kind of Star Wars does Jaws.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's scary as hell when you see him gunning for the prince, and Ahsoka has some badass hero moments saving him.
Mm-hmm.
And they give Prince Lee Char an arc in these 3 episodes. You get to see Akbar. He's not Admiral Akbar yet. He's Captain Akbar, but he coaches Lee Char into becoming this leader to inspire his people. I don't know. Monarchy can be kind of lame. I think, that's kind of a stupid basis of government. You should have something more democratic instead of just the rich guy's kid gets to be in charge now. But just from the traditional idea of being inspired by your king or your prince or whatever, just in kind of a fairy tale kind of view of it. It was fun to see the Mon Cala the Mon Calamari fish people unite behind their prince.
Yeah. Yeah, and he definitely improves because at first they're kind of like, oh, he's so green, like we can't follow him, like he doesn't have any experience, like, you know. And by the third episode, he's kind of like gained some experience.
If you read the comics, you actually get to see some of his reign, like during the time of the Empire, he's like taking shit from Vader, but like the Mon Calamari are canonically like they're one of the more like rebel. Like, they supply, like, a lot of, like, the big rebel capital ships come from them. Like, they were, like, very eager to get in the rebellion. You see that Admiral Raddus in Rogue One? He was ready to fight, you know?
Something that I picked up in this arc, too, was Dooku kind of alluded that he needs a water world for his separatist army. Like, he was like, if it's not going to be the Mon Calamari, then I'm going to have to go to the Gungans, or I'm gonna have to go to this. What is Rift Hampson's the
shark people,
the
Krakoans,
yeah,
Krakakoans,
yeah,
or something like that.
So I was curious. I was like, I wonder what he is planning or wanted to do.
Yeah, because like in the next episode, Shadow Warrior, he's trying to take over the Gungans.
Yeah.
But they're both cases of trying to instigate civil war on a planet, because on Mon Calamari, you have the Mon Cala, or the Calamar, I don't know, the fish people, the Akbars.
Mon Calamari.
But you also have the Quarren, the squid heads.
Mm-hmm.
And they were always a big part of the separatist movement, and like you see some of them in Attack of the Clones, I think, and definitely in Revenge of the Sith. So you have civil war on this planet of Mon Cala. And then you get something similar with the Naboo when Dooku was trying to bring the Gungans into the separatist forces and have a civil war on that planet with the Naboo. Mm-hmm. I don't really know why they wanted these water territories so bad, but maybe it's just they just wanted to instigate these civil wars and have like more infighting and destabilization on these planets to make them because all this is just like shaping the galaxy to be Palpatine's empire. So I think about that, like watching all of these cool epic underwater battle scenes, because they really do ramp up the violence in season 4 of Clone Wars. And you see Gungans dying, you see Quarren dying, you see clones getting ate by sharks, and then sharks being shot by clones. Mm-hmm. And it's like all these people dying and infighting and killing each other just so Palpatine can have his empire someday. That's like the whole point of this war. It was just so like one guy can have more authority.
Well, that's how they do.
But yeah, a lot of real life wars are fought over stupid reasons.
Yeah.
But
anything else that you have to say about the Water War arc?
I think it's funny that Prince Lee Char is named after Charlie Tuna.
I never heard of that, so that's news to me. I don't know who Charlie Tuna is.
He is the mascot on the can of tuna fish.
Of Starkist?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know he had a name.
Charlie.
Charlie the Tuna is now Lee Char, and he is a prince. And he doesn't look like a tuna, so...
No, but I don't know. I thought it was kind of funny. Lee Char, yeah. Charlie, I don't know.
It is kind of funny, but I wouldn't have caught that.
What's another good fish name?
I don't know. Rambo. I have no idea. I haven't seen Rambo either. Okay, you ready for the last episode of our talk tonight?
One last thing about Smiley Kit Fisto.
Okay.
You call the alphabet in Star Wars Arabesh,
okay.
But it's just like English letters, but they look different. But a lot of the writing you can just take and translate the Arabesh to English.
Okay.
The Arabesh on Kit Fisto's gunship that he drops in off of, it says service with a smile.
Aww.
Because we always joke about, like, Kit Fisto, he always looks too smiley to me. Like, he's, like, in war and he's smiling constantly. Because it's just like that big grin he has in Attack of the clones, and that was like the only thing he did in the whole movie. So it's like the one thing everyone knew about him from day one.
Yeah.
This guy has a big smile, so
Yeah.
But yeah, he's always smiley. It's fun to see Kit Fisto show up in Clone Wars because then we get Phil Lamar, and he's a voice actor who we really like. He's one of our Star Trek actors now. He's a big part of Lower Decks as Mariner's dad.
Yeah.
So he's gonna be in Vegas this year too. We'll see him at the Star Trek convention.
We'll tell him that we watched 3 of his shows this year.
Oh yeah, there was one day when we saw Phil Lamar voice a character in Lower Decks, and then we watched an episode of Clone Wars that had Kit Fisto in it, and then we watched an episode of Justice League that had Green Lantern John Stewart in it. So yeah, like Phil Lamar nonstop. Phil Lamar's voice is constantly heard in this house. That is not an exaggeration. It is a sometimes multiple times a day occurrence. Mm-hmm. Okay, so the last episode we're going to talk about Shadow Warrior, Season 2, Episode 4.
We're not ending strong. We're ending weak.
I might disagree.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, Anakin, Padme, and Jar Jar uncover a plot by the Gungan shaman, in quotes.
Oh yeah, never mind. This is like the racist witch doctor Gungan with a bone in his nose.
I said end week. Richelieu to trick the Gungans into aiding the Separatists in an assault on Naboo. As the charade unravels, can Jar Jar convince the Gungan army that they've been deceived? Shortly after General Grievous arrives, demanding to know why the attack was cancelled, Jar Jar manages to capture Grievous, but Dooku lures Anakin, who is chasing after Richelieu, into a trap. Now, Dooku demands the freedom of Grievous in exchange for Skywalker. And what's the moral?
And the moral is, who a person truly is cannot be seen with the eye.
This episode is whack.
It's like, don't judge a book by its cover, I guess, is another way to phrase that.
I think my favorite part of this whole episode is when the Gungan leader guy gets, like, comatose, and Jar Jar looks exactly like him, and he's like, we don't all look alike.
Because it's not Boss Nass anymore. It's this other guy who he does look a lot like Jar Jar.
Yeah, no, they do.
And the voice is very similar. It's like a deeper Ahmed Best Jar Jar voice.
I loved the part where he was sitting at a table with General Grievous and General Grievous's ship, and Grievous is just pissed because, like, the attack isn't going on anymore or whatever, and he's like, explain. And, like, poor Jar Jar is just, like, stuck in this teeny tiny little, like, ship with this scary ass General Grievous. I think that was pretty funny.
Yeah, so that's the part of the episode I do like, because I think General Grievous is just as stupid of a fucking character as Jar Jar Binks, and I kind of do see them as, like, equally dumb Star Wars concepts that the prequels gave us, and so to see the two of them sitting at a table opposite of each other in a room, I'm like, okay, that's where you belong, Grievous. You belong at the Jar Jar table. And I love that this episode shows that the stupid character I don't like, General Grievous, gets taken down by a bunch of Gungans.
Yeah, that was really hilarious. They literally capture him so fast, too. It's like, well, bam, he's taken.
And I guess I'll say the things I like before I say the big thing I don't like. But I was reading some about the behind the scenes of this episode yesterday or this morning, and apparently Dave Filoni was really nervous about doing this. Like, George Lucas, it was his idea. He wanted to do the Gungans capture Grievous, and then they have to do, like, the prisoner trade to get Anakin back. And Dave Filoni was like, George, it's going to make Grievous look like such a weakling, such an incompetent, moron, stupid villain if the Gungans take him down. So the way that Filoni figured out to do it and make it seem like it was, kind of like a big deal is that Captain Tarple, it's arguably the most likable Gungan of all, dies in the process. So, but I feel like it's a good death. Like, it's this is like the one time, like, I'm like, oh yeah, like, I'm actually, like, invested in this Gungan-centric story. Just the part that is so, like, because there have been so many comparisons of, like, Jar Jar and, like, his, Ahmed Best's, like, the characterization he came up with, like, how people have compared that to, like, oh, is this kind of a racist thing? Or are you saying, like, this is about, like, black people, or how, like, black people in the Caribbean talk, and then, like, having, like, a witch doctor with a bone in his nose.
Yeah.
That's just, that's, like, going into more, like, this supposed to be, like, some, like, Haitian voodoo guy. It's just, it's very, I feel very uncomfortable talking about it at all.
And being, like, witchy in a negative way.
Yeah, like an evil manipulator,
right,
brainwashing.
right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's pretty gross.
Yeah. I wish that, like, I understand where George was coming from with this gun stuff and wanted to have them have like a big victory over Grievous, but maybe, like, I don't know, talk about it with a bigger tent of people.
Yeah, I feel like
First.
he fails at this pretty frequently. Like, we have a lot of, like...
I mean, he's this, like, white guy born in California in 1945. It has this, you know, his view had
1945?
Pretty sure Lucas was born in 45. Hey, check this out. Computer, what year was George Lucas born?
George Lucas was born in 1944.
44?
Okay, it's off by 1 year. Okay.
Wow, he's older than I thought. That's all I was trying to get at. Wow, that is blowing my mind right now. Like, my papa was born in 42.
Yeah. But no, that's like any excuse. Like, if Papa came in here and told me he had like an idea how to depict the Gungans with like this Gungan witch doctor, I'd be like, I don't know, Papa. I think maybe we should rethink this character.
Yeah, and he would listen and
Yeah.
change based off of feedback.
I mean, it maybe George Lucas would have too if it was someone else in the room, but it was Dave Filoni. Dave Filoni was worried about. No, I'm not trying to throw him under the bus, but I think this is kind of funny. All he was worried about was like, I can't make Grievous look like a bitch.
Yeah.
Like that was his concern.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't like Grievous. Like, I think he's almost as deep of a character as Darth Maul was in The Phantom Menace.
Yeah, and
he's Megatron from Transformers.
I
like,
don't
there's
care.
nothing
I
there.
like the swirly lightsabers.
Yeah, I feel like he's like all style, no substance.
Yeah.
And the style was too try hard with all the lightsabers. Like,
I think
lightsaber
it's
used to be
fine.
like this cool, like, it's like this powerful, and like Han Solo gets Luke's lightsaber to cut open a tauntaun, and it's like he's like scared of it when he turns it on. It's like a dangerous thing to use. It's like this powerful weapon. And then like Grievous is like, I don't give a shit. I have like thousands of those. I'm just flipping around all these lightsabers.
No, because think about it as like General Grievous. Those are his trophies.
Yeah, those are all Jedi that he's brought down. Yeah.
And then he's actively not sacred about the lightsabers.
It does kind of make sense for him to like mock, like for him to be so sacrilegious with the lightsabers.
And he's like willy-nilly about it because he's like, oh, I have 10 more at home, guys. Ha ha ha. And like he doesn't
Because that's his thing. He hates Jedi. Like that's his reason for fighting this war is like, I just want to command droids and kill Jedi. And this is the perfect job. Being Dooku's general is the perfect job if those are your top 2 favorite hobbies.
Yeah. He I don't remember what I was gonna say. There's something else I was gonna say, but I forgot. But I don't hate on General Grievous. I think it works. He's not the stupidest thing in Star Wars.
What's the big plans that Sidious tells Dooku? He's like, I need Grievous for our plans. Is it? I know eventually they do like they wipe out the Nightsisters. Is that what they wanted Grievous around for?
Maybe.
But he's so important that
they need all of his lightsabers to create Inquisitors. I don't know.
No. Inquisitors can get their own lightsabers.
I guess.
But sorry, I lost my train of thought.
Yeah, you did. I think we should be wrapping up, though.
No, I had something cool I was gonna say.
Oh, okay. Read your notes. Was it on your notes?
No.
We were talking about General Grievous's lightsabers.
But yeah, that was distracting me.
And what's the plan?
Oh wait. Okay, so here's the thing. The deal with Sidious knows. Okay, Senator Amidala will trade. She will give up Grievous for Skywalker.
Oh yeah.
So, we can capture him and do like this prisoner exchange, and he weaponizes that relationship against them. But it was fun to have Anakin kind of come like a little closer to the truth and be like, what do you mean, Dooku? What do you mean you were involved in like that first battle here all those years ago? Because he's mad. He's like, why are you bringing the Clone Wars to beautiful Naboo? And Dooku is like, man, this planet's been like a key part of the operation all along. Like, do you not remember that original battle here? And Anakin's like, hold on, you were connected to that? You were connected to the events of the Phantom Menace? It was fun to kind of have that in there. And when they do the prisoner exchange, they had to be careful that Anakin and Grievous don't see each other to maintain that moment in Revenge of the Sith. It was like Grievous is surprised at how young Anakin looks, and Anakin is surprised at how short Grievous is.
Yeah.
Which might have just been Anakin trolling him.
Maybe. But yeah, Anakin's passed out during the exchange.
Yeah, and Grievous has an electro thing on his face because he's prisoner of the Gungan, so he's maybe had limited vision. Is what I was like. It looks like he could get a look at him, but you were telling me like, oh, that energy field on his head is obstructing his vision.
Oh yeah. The blue orb thing. Yeah.
It's like having the prisoner blindfolded, maybe, or having like a bag over his head or something. I love that idea of just Grievous being this prisoner of the Gungans. Though I love that.
Yeah, it should have been a couple more episodes of him just being prisoner.
Well, that was like Lucas really respected the Viet Cong freedom fighters taking down the big bad American Empire in Vietnam. He wanted to depict that in his stories. That's what inspired what originally was going to be the Wookiees and Kashyyyk fighting the Empire, but ended up being the Ewoks of Endor. But same thing. Like he liked seeing those the asymmetrical warfare. And the little guy taking down the big guy, the David and Goliath, Yeah, so there's something deeply mythological about that story. So something else is playing out in real life right now, with the big Empire running out of interceptor missiles. But is that it for Shadow Warrior? That was going to be the last episode we talked about. So what's next? We have the dumbass droid bullshit.
Yeah.
So we have some droid nonsense for a couple of episodes, but then we get to one of my favorite arcs with Umbara. So it's basically it's going to be another one of Star Wars doing another movie or doing another genre, but with the Umbara stuff, we get Star Wars does Apocalypse Now. Speaking of Vietnam, so I'm really excited for that, and also I know that we're saying we're getting into some less good stuff with the droid nonsense for these next 2 episodes, but the good news is that we've really been enjoying the last. Sorry, my dog is
coughing.
Over there. You okay? You okay, little Amos? He's fine. Okay, show the people on camera you're fine. He's like, leave me alone. Let me go back to my resting spot. But Taylor and I are going to go watch some more Star Wars. We're going to see some droid bullshit, and then we're going to see some really cool Umbara stuff that I've been very excited to return to. One of the things I've been most excited to rewatch in Clone Wars since we started this other Star franchise project. Taylor, I know you're really looking forward to seasons 5, 6, and 7 of Clone Wars. So.
Yep.
And then some big stuff after that with Rebels and Bad Batch and Andor. So, until next time, remember, the Empire is for bootlickers. Be a rebel, and may the Force be with you.